how small changes make a big impact. I am living and breathing this energy right now because I am naturally one of those people who gets wildly overwhelmed when something feels off or just that it's not working. And what has helped get into a more aligned place with myself is this. This is so life-changing if you can just identify first and foremost what it is, instead of just like allowing that to throw you into the spiral. So when something feels off, what is it? Like at the seed of it, what is the thing that is bothering you most? And, I've dealt with anxiety most of my life. And a lot of the reason why I think I was feeling like continuously so anxious is because I knew something was off, but I wasn't taking any action towards changing it. So when you feel something just is literally at dis-ease in your life, you're going to take a little time and you're going to get really, really clear on what it is. Like, what is the thing that's disrupting the flow? And then instead of calling all of your friends to complain about it, because I too used to do that, the opinion shopping, the dumping of all of my stuff on other people, what that does, first of all, is it just takes energy. You're not a giver. You're taking other people's energy. I have moments where I catch myself in this cycle, and I've said things to like my husband, for example, like, let me know if I'm complaining and I'm doing nothing about it. Because it's one thing to identify what it is. So first and foremost, we identify. We get clear. What is it? And the second thing is to have this solution-oriented mindset. So really thinking about like what could actually ease the situation? What could make it feel better? And by the way, it's never an easeful thing usually that you have to do to get there. It's like moving through that discomfort. But then the third thing is to take action. The reason why we allow this energy of anxiety to continue is because we identify in our mind that there's something that is not feeling right. But instead of actually moving towards it, we move away from it. We complain. We create a bigger problem because we're sometimes scared to move towards that thing. It might be an uncomfortable conversation that you need to have, or a really challenging conversation with someone. And if I could like just bring it down to like a granular level of an example, because these are the things that I've noticed continue to help me to move away from playing small, keeping myself small, keeping my mind small. And nothing will keep your mind small like complaining does. So for instance, in my 20s, I used to go to brunch every weekend. I fucking hate brunch. Like brunch, I'm not a bruncher, but I went to brunch because it was like the thing. A lot of my friends would brunch, and just coming back to just like the littlest things of like, I don't want to share pancakes. I don't actually even want a bite of your pancakes. But then I find myself eating the pancakes to make other people feel comfortable. And like, I don't do bellinis. And then I found myself like drinking at brunch and I have a bellini in my hand. I'm like, you fucking hate bellinis. But why am I choosing to do this? And then I wake up, I feel like shit the next day. And being able to identify that, first of all, like I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling great. And then the second thing is like, well, why? Like, let's just cut to it. Let's get right to the chase. Let's be transparent with ourselves. And being able to identify these like ever so subtle things in our life are the moments where we can either spring into action or we can stay with what is. And what happens when we do that? We don't grow, we don't change, we don't evolve, we don't expand. And, I know a lot of people who say they're so tired all of the time and they don't have energy. And then I'll ask questions like, well, like how many nights a week are you going out to eat? And like, are you having a drink? What time are you getting to bed? And it's usually just like these very simplified conversations of like, oh, well, I go out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then I'm like dead on Sunday. And Dylan actually said something that I thought was genius when we were talking about just the concept of this solo. And she was like, I really feel like people feel like the weekend is just like a get out of jail free card. Like they can just like eat like shit, drink their face off, and then like you wonder why maybe things aren't going the way that you actually really in your heart and your soul want them to go. And if you can just peel back all the layers and take one step towards making one small change, because I get overwhelmed when I start to identify things that don't feel right, especially in business. I'm like, oh my God, I have to change this thing. Oh my God, I need this person. Oh my God, is this working? And I get into this space where I overwhelm myself with just the thought of tackling it all. And what is really, really helping me is like taking it in this like 3-step approach to identify what it is. I'm going to repeat it again to like really embed it into your brain, into my own brain too. And then to really ask myself, like, how? So like the how is the solve. Like, how can I shift this to a place where like I will feel good? And then the third is the action plan. Like what action you are going to take instead of just talking endlessly in circles around it. Lean into the thing that is bothering you most so that you can face it head on. And this has definitely alleviated so much inner anxiety in my life. And by the way, every single day I feel this way, but through the practice of like stepping away from something to really look at it from like a bird's eye view and just be like, hold on a second. I know that I can change this. Like we have the power to completely realign our lives when we are ready to, when we are honest with ourselves about it, and when we can live in a solution-oriented mindset instead of literally talking shit to everyone about everything that's bothering you and do nothing about it. And one way that has been helping me to really get it out, I have to make so many decisions a day. I think all of us suffer from decision fatigue. And being able to just like simplify making more decisions than I actually have to has really, really helped like lighten the load on my plate. And it starts from the night before. It starts from like bedtime, really looking at my day, because I think our mornings have the ability to bring so much magic into our life. But the only way that you're going to have a magical morning is from having really great quality sleep, teeing yourself up for success. and winding your body, your mind and your body down and looking at your day, looking at your week. I am not a planner. I don't love forward planning, too many things, locking in too many, like I get really overwhelmed by that. But looking at my schedule and seeing, okay, like this is like this week I'm interviewing a lot of guests. I have to be so on. No, I can't do dinner on Wednesday night because then I'll feel off for Thursday. So I think it's just like these tiny little things, like little tweaks, little like micro moments of readjusting that can just set you up for so much inner success. This isn't about like success on paper. This is about a feeling that we all want to feel in our lives. Like when you're walking around, when I'm living my everyday, I want to feel as if I'm vibrating on such a high frequency. I have so much to give. I get really excited thinking about it. But when I deplete myself or I do too much, especially during the week, Monday through Thursday, I am dinner, bath, bed, in bed by 10 p.m. just about every night. Like that is what brings me a lot of happiness because I know that it gives me the space and the capability to manage all of the things that I want to manage. And not just that I want to or that I have to, but it helps me bring forward this vitality of energy. I don't just want to like show up and robotically move through the day and do the thing. I want to give it every single thing that I have. And the only way that we're ever going to really be able to give everything that we have is to give more to ourselves in those tiny little windows where maybe we are just giving a little too much away. And it's in these little tweaks. For example, with decision fatigue, I create a weekly schedule every single week. And when I'm not filming, we used to have 3 schedules. We did a beginner, intermediate, and challenging, and it all just felt challenging. It felt like too much. So I really simplified it at a core level. When I'm home working out, or if I'm filming, like, what does that week look like? There's such a method to the way that I piece certain workouts together. And following the schedule, waking up and knowing that I'm doing the Wednesday workout on Wednesday when I'm home has helped me just take an extra layer off myself of like figuring out what I'm going to do. And like I teach for a living, but sometimes when we can lighten our own load, it just frees up more space for other creative juices to come out of us. And I've been on a kick right now of doing the 29-minute don't be discouraged by the time 29-minute clear and align meditation with Erica. It's a live that we did together, and it's a combination of breath work and meditation. I'm on day 3, and I've decided I'm going to continue doing this for 30 days because I have things that I'm going through, which is always inspired by these solo episodes. I really like to take something I'm living and breathing and bring it here because I know that if I'm going through it, so many of us are going through the same things. And it's helping me clear. It's helping me to release this energy that I'm feeling. And the energy that I was feeling was trying to figure things out that have been weighing heavy on me. And when we think that we need to figure everything out on our own, the overwhelm is real. And in meditation, I'm so reminded every single time after I finish, where like I just breathe deeper. I'm in my body. I am aligned with my highest self. And it's this constant reminder every day that I am being supported, that we are so divinely guided when we believe it, when we trust in a power greater than our own, in a plan far greater than our own. And we give ourselves this space to get it all out. And this combination of breath work and physical movements through the breath of fire and releasing emotions, releasing anger, anxiety, frustration, shame, guilt, all of the human emotions that we feel that we keep inside of ourselves. It gives us this energy to be able to look at things in such a more simplified way. Because, like, I'm an overcomplicator. I overcomplicate things. And as I've gotten older, I've been able to really simplify through listening to myself, through listening when something feels off or wrong, and trusting, no longer like getting into my head about it. And knowing that when I can connect mind, body, and spirit to this matched frequency and be on this wavelength here that creates this neutral foundation for myself, I'm able to see things more clearly. And then after that, I've been just doing this brain dump, this like mind dump, journaling, whatever you want to call it, but just allowing the craziest things that go through my brain, let it out, write it out, get it out. Physically on paper, not on your phone. We touch our phones enough. We don't always need technology in our hand. Just let it rip. Like, God, I put that in my safe after. I'm like, no one can read this. I will be done. It's for me. That's for me and only me. And to have something where you feel this freedom to let it fly is the most freeing feeling in the world. And it's something that we can all feel. We can all feel by coming back to the simplicity of how we are showing up in our lives, how we are living our life, who we are choosing to go to dinner with, how often we're choosing to go to dinner, how often we're drinking. How many times a week are you consuming alcohol? How much alcohol are you consuming? How many coffees a day? I could literally bathe in coffee. I haven't had a coffee in 3 days because I realized that a lot of my addictive behaviors were from this place of being really comfortable in a disrupted state. And the more that I've been able to calm and neutralize my nervous system, I realize that it doesn't have to be that way. Like, what I choose to attach myself to can actually bring me peace. And don't get me wrong, I love coffee, but I drink it much less because I've become more sensitive to it, because I have become so strongly in tune with myself from really peeling back all of these layers and getting to the seed of my own soul. And the more that you can simplify the littlest things, the less that we have to carry in thinking all of these decisions that we have to make on a daily basis. Like, looking at my schedule the night before. I know this sounds wild. I didn't always do that. And just teeing myself up for a little bit more space. And one of the biggest, like, most impactful things I've been doing recently that has made, it's like such a small thing, but it's made immense change in my life, is getting in the shower sooner than I think I either want to or have to. And it's become more of this like energetic ritual where, like when we wake up in the morning, our bodies have been cleansing for hopefully 7, 8 hours of sleep. You really want to make sure you're getting optimal sleep because it affects every single thing in your life. And if you're not sleeping like that, that's the simplified thing you're going to work on. Because good sleep is gold. It sets your life up for fulfillment and success, inner success, not success just on paper. And getting in the shower sooner, and it's been giving me this instant kind of reboot of starting my day earlier than I'm going to say it again, want to or think I need to. It has me on time, which is a big thing that I've always kind of battled with because I've discovered and really realized that when you're feeling anxious, like anxiety for me was so attached to being comfortable there that like I was allowing my anxiety to like always make me late. So to just leave this with you and for you to think about where in your life you're feeling a lot of anxiety. Is it in your relationship? Have you been thinking something feels off, but you're afraid to approach that conversation? Like, what is the solution? To have the conversation and maybe do therapy together. We're afraid to face things head on. And the more that you let it sit and you let it brew, the more it grows into something bigger than it actually has to be. So if we can just identify with strength, not with fear, and with confidence, to be honest with ourselves and to focus on the solution. What is a solution that could help ease something that you're going through? And then take immediate action. Don't sit. Don't wait. And meditate on it. Pray on it if it doesn't feel clear, because clarity is key. But we have the ability to change our lives when we can approach every day, one day at a time, and just take one small step to really create that big, lasting change.